Hello and welcome to Stargazing, the show that brings you up close and personal with your favourite stars of reggae and dancehall music and Jamaican popular culture. I am Shaun Cain. In this edition of the show, we'll speak with a playwright who's made so many people laugh, both in Jamaica and overseas. Let's take a look. Everton Dawkins grew up in Pennants in Clarendon, where he spent most of his youthful days on the farm with his adoptive parents. Upon graduating from school, he moved to Kingston in search of a job. After doing several odd jobs, he met famed actor and playwright Reid. He provided promotional and other services to Reid, who had written and produced a number of roots plays in Jamaica and North America. Reid emigrated to America in the early part of the millennium. This left a void for quality roots plays in Jamaica. Having been an unofficial understudy to Reid for many years, Dawkins had developed the skills of writing and directing plays. He subsequently decided to start writing and directing his own plays. Among his productions are Man Forget Bun, It Wasn't Me, Mr. Mention, Passa Passa, More Passa Passa, Crazy Landlord, Careless Mother, Whatless Mumma, and Single Parents, the latter of which is currently available online and can be accessed on a pay-per-view basis.
What do you mean we can't stop you? Eh? No fornicate, no defecate, no intimate, no urinate.
The Clarendon native has explained to the Stargazing with Shaun Cain show that with the suspension of licenses in the entertainment industry due to the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic, theatre productions in Jamaica have been seriously impacted. However, Reid has spotted a major benefit in screening plays online. He says more people can be reached internationally, which will help to broaden the exposure of the Jamaican culture.
Dirty girl, where you go with this? You come like when school up an alleyway, you know, no class.
He also accepts that the pay-per-view model can help to reduce the cost of staging theatre productions on the Caribbean island. Welcome back. Everton, wagwan sir.
Yeah, I'm here. What's up with you?
Well, I'm good, man. It's good talking with you. It's nice and bright and sunny where I am. How about where you are?
Wow. Yeah, it's always sunny here in Jamaica. You know, the first few times I came to England, I never see any sun. So I thought more or less that sun didn't shine over there. So it's good to hear that you're having sun.
Well, you came the wrong time, man. I'm sure, after all this coronavirus is over and lockdown and everything, you'll be able to try one of them times and see the place when it's nice and bright. But Everton, you know what? The coronavirus has disrupted the ways in which many of us do things. Would you say that the pandemic has also affected theatre in Jamaica?
It's a lot. You see, the entertainment industry in Jamaica during this COVID-19, the entertainment sector was the first to go out. Because I had some shows lined up all the way until Father's Day. And I remember when the Prime Minister first made the first announcement in March 13th, I think it was. All what we call them now, all the license were cancelled for all entertainment and because you had to go into this social distancing thing and all of that. So we were the first to go out and we're gonna be the last to come in because we can't have a show without crowds.
So how are you getting around that now then? Because I know you've got a production coming up soon, which we're going to talk about later on. But I just want to find out, how do you plan to stage this play, knowing that social distancing is something you have to observe?
Well, we have been here and we have been thinking and we've realized that we have to find creative ways. Since we are considered the creative industry, we have to find creative ways to make something possible and to do it. So that's how we came up with this idea of trying to screen the thing live virtually so everyone can see it, not just in Jamaica alone, but all overseas as well.
That would be very good because, as you say, you can reach a wider audience with that. So although the coronavirus has brought its shadows, it has also brought light because you've now found a new way in which you can reach a wider audience. But my concern with that is, how sustainable do you think this might be? How long do you think you'll be able to hold people's attention to get them to pay to watch online?
Well, I think it's a new norm, and we can continue in this vein. Even when we get back to the theatre, we can make it much accessible to people to still stay home and watch it. So I think it's a very exciting thing to do. And I, as far as I'm concerned, the virtual thing is not just gonna go away after the pandemic goes away as well. I think it's something we can keep. So for instance, we are in a theater and we're having shows there. We can also stream it live to overseas audience so people at home can see it as well. It's something that I think, honestly, I think is viable and something that can really stand the test of time, because we have to really be thinking new norms and new ways of doing business to survive in this time.
Is it an expensive process? Because I know there's technology involved in it. Would it be something that you'll have to dig very deep into your pockets to maintain that way of doing things?
In all honesty, I think it's a little, maybe it would work out a little cheaper than if we have to go the other route. Because one of the most expensive things in Jamaica when you're doing plays is for all the fees that you have to pay, and you have to rent venues, and you have to rent chairs, and you have to go to advertising, and you have to pay the parish council, and you have to put up signs and get signed, and a lot of those things. You don't have to do all of those. So if you're gonna go social media, then you just use the social media. So I think it's I never really thought about it, but when you come to think about it, I think the virtual show costs a lot less than if we was to go into a theater to do it.
Well, that's a blessing in disguise, and coronavirus has certainly shown you new ways of doing things, ways of bringing your costs down so that your profit can stand up a little bit taller. And I'm sure you won't regret any of that. When you talk too loud about the profit thing, they make the government in here, because next thing they want to put more tax on it. Everton, I'll retract that. Don't worry about that. But you have been hanging around theatre for a very long time. Now, when did you first start getting involved in these theatre activities?
Well, I grew up as a little boy, and getting involved in this, it wasn't theatre then where I was in Clarendon. It was just us doing like church plays and concerts and all of those things. And somehow when I got into Kingston, I ended up getting in touch with Reid. I met Reid, which I think up until this day is the best actor that I have seen locally. And it took off from there. They all went away to do a play by the name of Fire Number Wire, and they never came back. And that left a void to be filled. And I took up the mantle to try to fill that void that I think was left. And I think I did very well, and still continues to do my little thing.
That's a very brave move, but of course you had the confidence to do it. You had the experience, because you were around these people who were very good at what they did, and you learned quite a few things. So you moved from supporting theatre production to writing your own plays. How did that happen? You actually starting to write now?
Well, being around Ian and he was a source and a strength, I should say, a motivation, because he would give me the authority to say something, and if I'm at the rehearsals and see something, I can always say, Ian, look, I think this or I think that, and he would accept my input. So I watched him perform in all the directing and all of those things. So after he left, and I decided to write this play named Man Forget But Now. And my idea about play then was that if you can have a title of a play that would convince the females, don't worry about it. They will carry the man them come. So that was why I come up with that name. And to see that my first time trying to write, I wrote this play, and then I end up being the director of it as well, and the producer. So, and I learned all of those stuff from Ian Reid.
Yeah, very sharp. I can see that. A very sharp understudy at the time. Now, I gather that you experienced a rather difficult time gaining support from the bigger producers and promoters of plays when you wanted to start. How did you get over that?
Most of the theatre people don't organize together, and this togetherness doesn't work. They will laugh with you and smile with you, and behind your back they would stab you. Because everybody just want the whole thing to be for them and themselves alone. They don't really like the idea that anybody else participating.
It sounds a bit common because even in the dance hall, that's a massive cry nowadays. But how did you get past that though? Because nobody wanted to support your play. Mm-hmm.
You see, they always say that if you have a good product, then you make the product sell itself. So I remember when I first decided to go to Montego Bay, because you had a few venues in Jamaica at that time that those were like the premier venues in Jamaica for plays. So you had like apart from Kingston, you had Maypen, you had Montego Bay, and you have Mandeville, Ocherous. Now I decided from early on that I wasn't going to do my thing in Kingston, because all the major productions are always coming out of Kingston. So me being a country person, decided that I want to do my thing in the country. So I chose to do it from Ocherous. So I remember calling Mr. Rankin, what's his name, and tell him that I have this play that I would love to come down there with. So he didn't know me to be a playwright or somebody like that. He just knew me because he met me because of Ian Reid. So he started to call around to ask other people what they thought about the play, if he could have done it. So he asked Ralph Holness first, and Ralph tell him that the play is foolishness, but Ralph never see the play. He asked Balford Anderson, and he said the same thing. He said what Everton knew about writing plays and all of them something. So he thought he was really listening to these people. Then he asked Michael Denton, and Denton tell him it's foolishness, even though Denton was in Pennants Bay and we in Ocherous, and Denton never come to see the play. He just tell him that it was foolishness because he wanted to go down there. Apparently he went down there and do his play and flop. Now Mr. Rankin decided that the name of the play was sort of bugging his head. So he decided to do the play 2 weeks into the new year, when you think money that done or something. And I tell you, we had something down to that night. We end up doing 3 plays the one night, because the play sold out, the another one sold out again. At 6 o'clock in the evening, the theatre was filled for an 8 o'clock show. So we had to start the show there, and then had another one at 8:30. And by 11 o'clock, we still had to do another one.
That was good. But any of these people, Ralph Holness and all those people, have they ever come back to congratulate you or to even apologize?
Well, Ralph did congratulate me, because whenever we went to Kingston, Ralph would be around. Michael Denton is in New York now, and him sometimes he even carry us up to do some shows one time. So I don't even remember saying he fight against me so hard, but you know, they are there, man, and they give the support. You know what them call the bandwagon is. So when them see the train move off and really going, then people is gonna try to jump on it, but them never want to give it the thumbs up when it's about to start.
Well, I can see you're a very resilient man, and you know, as long as you believe in your product, it doesn't matter what people say, you're going to push on. And that's a very good trait to have, especially in this day and age. But you have a new play out now, The Single Parents. What's the storyline there? What's that about?
What do you mean we can't stop you? Eh? No fornicate, no defecate, no intimate, no urinate.
Hey girl, this is so dirty girl. Where you going with this? You come like when school up on holiday. You know, no class.
It is not really a new play as per se, but it is because it's a play that we were supposed to be doing throughout this thing when the whole thing got messed up. But it is a play that was done as an inspiration to the young people. We played it specifically into schools, into the high schools and like the colleges to bring a positive message across to the young people to say that not matter where your surroundings or where you're coming from or your circumstances, with hard work and dedication, you can endure and you can aspire to be anything you want to be. So it's a message play. And because it's named Single Parents, it's about showing the difference between two different kind of parenting. One man who is growing up his daughter in a particular way, and another mother who is growing up her son in a particular way, and showing the contrast between both of them and what is really happening in the society and what we need to fix and to correct.
So it sounds like you're out there to attack some stereotypes then. Is that it?
Exactly.
That's good. And I'm just looking again at what other factors influence the plays that you write. Do you really look at mainly social issues or political issues, economic issues? What influences your storylines?
Yeah, we look at issues. Sometimes some ideas would come based on what the circumstances or something. Just like, for instance, I just write a new play, and the new play that I just wrote has to do with the corona, because the corona came, had me sitting down home not doing anything at all. So we just write one play about the corona.
So when can we expect to see that?
Well, we don't know when we're gonna do that as yet, but the script is I just finished up the script, so we're gonna type it out and something, and I don't know when that is going to come out, but at least we have it.
Well, Everton, we're looking forward. The Single Parent and also the Corona, those aren't your only plays that you've written. Just give us a few more of the other ones that you've written.
Well, the very first one is Man Forget Bun, and then we came up with some others, like It Wasn't Me and Miss a Mention, and then we did Passa Passa, which happened to be the biggest play to ever come out of Jamaica. And then we did more Passa Passa. And then we did Crazy Landlord. And we have a new one out now as well. We did just do one performance so far until the virus came and crushed it. And that one is Careless Mother, otherwise called Worthless Mama. So we have quite a few plays, quite a few of them.
Very good, and I like the vein in which you write, because there's always a message in there. But the Man Forget Bunting, I don't know about that bit, I don't know if I can promote that part, because I don't believe in any of that sort of stuff, but I'll leave that to you, because you probably enjoy that kind of stuff.
I have two instances about this Man Forget Bun. The very first time we went to Port Antonio to do the play, I was putting up some signs and the light was, and this Rasta brother came up and he was reading the thing. So he said, "Man forget not at this and that." And he called somebody and tell me somebody. And the night of the play, he was the first one to show up him and him woman.
That's ironic.
Then we had in Montego Bay now, the night when we had to do the tree show. This woman now, her husband tell her not to go to the show because she want to go look to see how to learn how to give bun. And she insists that she want to go to the show. Poor woman come to the show, and because the show was sold out, so she end up on the road, standing up on the road, waiting to see what was going on. And the man go past and see her. And one piece of fight in the road. And all the other woman then turn down on him and them. I don't know how she had him make out when she go home, because she insists, even after I fight her, that she wasn't going home. She still wanted to see the show.
So she still wanted to learn how to give bun?
Yeah.
Everton, what's wrong with you? What kind of stuff are you promoting there?
It was just fun. And anybody who watched it will agree that the pastor man did deserve to get bun. Because what he was doing is really not paying attention to his yard. Him out the road I pay attention to something else while somebody else pay attention to his honey.
All right, so I hear you. But how did that make you feel, though? All the kind of feedback you got, and people were fighting, and the Rastaman was saying this, and then the wife pulled him along, and he had to come reluctantly. How did all of that make you feel?
It's good, man. It felt like I have achieved. I've achieved something that you set out on a path and you achieve. I can give you a joke. You say, well, we're doing pasa. Any day we have, like on a Sunday, sometimes we end up doing 2 shows because one show can't hold everybody. And anytime I end up doing 2 shows, the Monday morning, I have to pay for either a door, a gate, or something. I don't know the big ward theatre. I must about 3 different times I have to pay for the glass door down a ward theatre. Because the people, they mash it up trying to come in. Once we have a second show, then everybody they want line up, everybody want to come in one time. And the crowd, and they just force and mash down the place. And I end up having to pay for it the next morning.
Well, at least those are successful shows, so it's good for you. But looking back now at your start in life, you had a very unfortunate start because your parents gave you up for informal adoption. Tell us a bit about that, Everton.
The truth is that I can remember back to 2 years old. When I remember I was on this train, but I didn't know what was happening. But that was the day when I was given away. And I was given away to some old ladies. 2 old ladies. One of them really I know as mother and the other one as aunt. And this lady would come by me and say she's my friend. When I was about 14 years old, I realized that this lady is really my mother and not my... And that really... Truth is that I was loved. But there are certain things that I would maybe really need from my mother that was not forthcoming. I think my schooling was one of them where I did not get a chance. As being the brilliant child that I was, I didn't get a chance to really do. But them say everything worked together for good, so we don't know. Maybe it was good enough for me. So I am still none of the worst. I went to a primary school just sometime, like 2 days a week for some time. And then for most of the time, I was absent from school a lot more than I.
So what were you doing when you were absent? Where were you?
I had to be in the field. We're from a farming community, and you have the cocoa and the chocolate and the citrus. So I had to be in the field when it's not like on a Thursdays when you're carrying the coffee and the cocoa to the depot. And every day I had to pad the donkey and go to bush, go and pick coffee and pick chocolate. And on a Thursday now, we heap it up together and make a 2 or 3 trip down to the depot to deliver it.
Your friend, who is supposed to be your mother, did you ever ask her why she gave you up? Or gave you away? Was it something you wanted an answer to? Was it a question you wanted an answer to?
I think it would have maybe make me upset, so I didn't question it. One of my brother, he argued with me about it and tell me I don't know why she did and I didn't know why and why I don't ask her. And I said no, I don't want to know. I passed that stage right now and I really say I can't help myself. Why should I go back and go and ask her why she did that when she already did it? No, it wouldn't make a difference. Not we can change again. So
you've got past that now, I take it? Doesn't bother you anymore?
Yes, man, I passed that long ago. The surprise thing is that when she died, I realized that I went there and all of a sudden I understand and realized that the cost of the funeral was split in 3 between me and 2 other brothers. and I was surprised to even realize that they would even mention me, because at the same time my bigger brother was basically denying me right there in front of me. somebody said to him, how this man look like you saw Dougie? And Dougie said, it's Fitzy brother. He never said it was his brother. Because me and Fitzy is one father. So when he said it's Fitzy brother, people might think that I am not his mother's child. I am just maybe his father's child. And that was what, that did piss me off. That I end up did not pay the money that I was supposed to pay. All that I had done already, I just allowed that. But the money that I was supposed to pay up front, that 1/3, I didn't pay that. Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm not her child.
Very important point there, and it's just important that people understand these issues and just try and stick with their children as much as they possibly can. And even if they can't look after the children, at least explain to the children, why they have to give them up, and not just say, I'm your friend and that sort of thing. But I'm glad you've got past that now, and you are doing well for yourself in your own right, and that's brilliant. Well, Everton, it was really great talking to you. And just before we go, just a chance for you to do a bit of name dropping. Who are some of the people whose paths you've crossed in theatre? You've come across some of the big names in theatre. Just an opportunity there.
Wow, all of them, all the names. I have this good friend. I'm a big friend named Oliver, and even though him get part of my nerves one time when we was in Canada doing a show, and he had a show before us. So this guy on the radio station was interviewing him and asked him, said to him that there's a little smaller group coming from Jamaica to do a play by the name of Man Fi Get Bun. What can you tell us about them? And Oliver's remarks was, Man Fi was it? Never heard of them. So when I went on the station, the guy said that I should say whatever I want to say, because he was upset because he didn't like the idea, because he was saying that as a man, big man in the business that everybody look up to, he should be the one who's supposed to be highlighting us and helping us. So I didn't really, the tracing or the cussing thing. So I just said, it's just Mr. Samuels is somebody who I've rated so much. But it's just a pity that he has never heard of us. Because we both had a clash of date in Mandeville once, and they had to cancel. So it is surprising that he didn't know why they cancelled.
Right.
And I left it at that.
Well, maybe that's why he never heard of you, because he had to cancel. So he just thought, I'm just going to banish you from my thoughts, from his thoughts and that kind of thing. Right. But then, so you had, so that was Mr. Samuels. And anybody else? I know Mr. Handsome. You worked very closely with Mr. Handsome, because he mentioned you, because I interviewed him on this platform as well, and he mentioned you.
Well, what happened? Handsome came in just the same time when I met Ian Reid, because he was working at the same particular place where we had this theatre. So he was there, but he had a love for the theatre, that he would come around by the theatre at the nights or whatever, and he would listen and fast from what the people are doing, and not no time at all. So one day he came to me and said he can do it. And I said, how? And somehow he was he was telling me all the people, the lines of the play and everything to the T. So I went to Ian and I said, Ian, look man, this guy seems to, and Ian was insisting, saying, no, I don't think he can do it. So one day he decided now, after I bother him so much, he decided to give. That time it was not Mr. Handsome or even Girly. It was somebody who we call Chucky.
If you turn a preacher, mind what you're saying. When you tell your congregation, so they must learn to claim things, be careful. Pastor did it. He said, Mr. Handsome, you need something, claim it. You need something, claim it. Me say, all right, a good thing that. When church move, I go in front of the van, Pastor Van Antano. Me say, give me the key. I say, you, your wife, and the children come out, give me the key. He say, what is that? Me say, don't know what is that. You tell me if you claim it, me I claim the van.
So, when he went and he got the first chance, there was this guy who was playing the thing named Lance. So when he was there on stage and mashing up the place and mashing up the place, Ian came backstage and looked at Lance and said, Lance, sorry, but for you to see back this stage, Chucky have been dead. So you understand that Chucky is still alive, so Lance never see back the stage. Poor Lance.
That is so unfortunate. Well, what can I say about that? Well, it's just how life is, and it's happened in many industries. It happened in media and other places. So, unfortunate, Lance. Sorry about that, but you know,
We did
that's just
a
life.
show, the Fire Number Wire now, and that was where he got the name Girly from. Even even Trevor, everybody knows worldwide Trevor as Bad Boy Trevor. That is where he got the name from in that same play. So those two names stood out in that play, and they're still reigning up until this day. Bad Boy Trevor and Girly.
Longevity, very much so. Right, Everton, it was really great talking to you and learning so much about your experience in theatre and also about your personal life. It's really good, and I know you've got your new play coming out. But before I let you go, I always like to challenge my guests to see how much they know about reggae and dancehall music. I generally ask questions from my own book here. It's called Reggae Larger Than Life, the ultimate reggae music fun and games book. This book is currently available from Amazon. But if you're more of an app person, the Android version of the app is available from the Google Play Store. All you need to do is type in Reggae Larger Than Life Fun app. You can download it and have lots and lots of fun. So Everton, I've selected 2 questions for you. So let's see now. You've proven yourself in terms of theatre. Let's see in terms of music now, how big and strong you are. All right, first question says, born in 9 Miles in the Jamaican parish of St. Anne in 1945, this Buffalo Soldier reggae superstar was given a Lifetime Achievement Grammy Award posthumously in the United States in February 2001. Who was he? The options are Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, Delroy Wilson, Dennis Brown.
So did you say St. Anne? Imagine now, I am living in St. Anne, and you would try to ask me a question like that? Come on, man. Everybody must know it's Bob Marley.
All right, Everton. Okay, all right. So let's see now. I'm sure I'm going to find one for you here because, you're beating your chest. So, all right, let's go. All right, next one says, with which of the following record labels would you most associate the late legendary Jamaican record producer Clement Sir Coxsone Dodd? The options are Beverly's, Down Sound, Studio One, and Taxi.
Now, we always believe that Studio One produces the best rhythm. In my days as a boy, when you hear about Studio One, when you go to Kingston or Hi-Fi and them playing Studio One, it's a different type of rubber dub them there. You forgot to me, little boy, sir? No more Studio One.
Right, sir. All right, okay, so I hear you. The man from Studio One, and I see that, that was your era when you were very active in music and everything. So, well done. I can see that you know your music, you know your play, you know Jamaican culture, you know the social issues. What else can I say about you, Everton? That's it. So, Everton, thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Just before you close, could I just say a big up to a few people?
Oh, go ahead. Feel free. Yes.
All right, we want to say there are some people who I want to remember who took me, who we came up through, way through the ranks. There's this guy, Cleve Warren, named Chucho. Unfortunately, he's not with us anymore. But he was like a tower of strength, somebody who helped to guide. Then we have the Mama Man, Maxwell Grant. Then call him Bashi, then call him Frank, then call him all sort of something. He is in this play right now. He is doing something like about 50 years in a theatre. And everybody know him. He has been with me from the start. Then there is also Juliet Shank, called Miss Clemmy. And she has been with me from the beginning as well. So we want to thank all of those people who has helped to make Dynamite Production what it is today. Lately we have Suzette Barrett, we have Mr. Brother Desmond who just come in now, and all the people, everyone who has been a part of Dynamite Productions over the years through this year. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone, and hope so we can go another enough years more together. Thank you all.
That is so noble, man. And as you mentioned that, I remember Paul O'Beal. He's a gentleman that, is a friend, was a friend of my brother for a very long time. And we also sadly lost Paul as well.
And as you talk about Paul, we want to remember Mr. Upton. Mr. Upton just died last week.
Clive, yes.
So we lose one last year and one this year. Paul O'Beal was last year, and Mr. Upton. Now Mr. Upton one was maybe more surprising to me because I knew Paul was sick, but I had no idea that Mr. Upton was ill.
We didn't know of anything, any illness or anything like that, and we just got the news that Clive
So we lost
Duncan
two giants.
just left us like that. Well, may their souls rest in peace, and we just want to thank them for the contributions that they made to theatre and all the laughter that they brought to us.
As far as I'm concerned, they just gone to so they are now setting up the stage and putting up the props and doing all of that for us to come, because before you think not or before you look, all of us will be right down there too.
That is so true, Everton. That is so it gives us something to look forward to when we get there. There'll be lots and lots of laughter that will be waiting for us. So thank you very much. Our special guest today was Everton Dawkins, a playwright. And of course, he's got a play out at the moment. It's the Single Parents. So I implore you to make sure you get to see that one. And Everton, before you go, how can people get to access that play? Because it will be all pay-per-view and it's all online.
All right. It's we send out the thing all over the place because there's a link that you have to click on, and once you click on that link, then it will take you everywhere. But if you want to get further information on how to do it, then maybe you could WhatsApp or call this number, and the number is, oh Lord, tell me my number. Oh, all right, call my number then. It's 1-876 874-1358, and I can give you or put you onto the relevant person if you don't have the link. If you have any video or a poster online, because it's all over the place on the internet, and then you see the link there. But if you don't have the link there, then you just try and call that number and we will direct you to how you can get the tickets.
All right, thank you so much there, Everton Dawkins, playwright. He's got his new play coming up, so make sure you support that. We've got to support Jamaican culture. Well, that's it for this show, but as usual, remember to subscribe, like, and also to share. Don't forget to hit that bell so that when new versions of this show become available, you will be the first person to know about this. Until next time, this is Shaun Cain saying goodbye, see you soon.